Namaste. So we are back here with the sixth episode of Tell Me Appa. So the sixth episode, I'm going to call it Entering Grahastha Stage and Secret Life. Okay? Because I think that this stage of life is more like a secret. Okay? Like it's more between the family members and okay, because we become more of a family member in this life stage and we do a lot for our family, and a lot means we do it a lot in for care and love and all that, but also we do a lot of sacrifices because we are part of the family and we don't want to cause any disturbance, or we are in charge of the family, so it's our right to be there, and we call off some things like meetings and work, business and all of that just so that we can be here to keep our family happy and safe. So this episode, it's really important. Many of the people told me that I have to have a separate episode on this. Okay, so here we go. Episode 6 of Tell Me Appa, Entering Grahastha Stage and Secret Life. So the first question, so I'm jumping quite high in this. Do you remember the first time of meeting Devasena Miss? When did you fall in love? Tell us about the journey from love to marriage.
I had no idea I was going to be asked this question, so it's totally new. I think the first time we met, and some of the people who are close to us know this story, is that there was a wedding in Kambiswami Madam, and it was one of Devasena family's relatives. So the wedding, Swamiji had allowed the family to have the wedding in Sri Kambiswami Madam, because the Pandit who was there at that time, he was working in the Madam, so through him it was allowed. And so they had all come for the wedding ceremony at Kambiswami Madam, and Devasena Miss was roaming around, and she had come to the staircase which comes upstairs in Kambiswami Madam, and I as a kid was at the top of the staircase. And I think I may have been given the job. Like Ganapati was given the job to keep people out when his mother Parvati was having a bath. I think I had the job that don't let anybody come upstairs. Because the upstairs was Swamiji and Ammaji's a private area to some extent, though we had a lot of classes and activities, but in a general situation where a lot of outsiders were coming, we would normally say nobody should go upstairs. So it seems I was at the top of the stairs and Devasena was at the bottom, and she was going to climb the stairs, and from up there I sort of say, no, stop there, nobody's allowed to come up here, so go. So that actually is basically I think the first meeting we had. Now later on she started coming for the Kambiswami Madam dance classes and then the yoga classes. She used to travel about 40 kilometers from Tindivanam every Sunday by bus. And that really endeared her a lot to Ammaji and others, because the effort of coming, it was more than an hour travel from Tindivanam to come to Kambiswami Madam. And then she had to go back in the afternoon or evening similarly. Then when the Madam got taken over by the government in the mid-80s, we switched the classes over to Rainbow Nagar. We had a small ashram for some time in Rainbow Nagar. And so Sunday classes would happen, and so she started coming for those classes. And then as ICYR developed, she started coming here. So I would say that basically over that period we got to know each other. But I think it was basically only after I completed schooling that actually sort of things became a bit more serious. And Swamiji, I still remember, thanks to Renukaka, Swamiji used to, even in those days, say that Devasena is going to be my daughter-in-law, she's going to marry Ananda. And I remember we had gone to Bangalore for some competitions and all, and Swamiji was very openly saying it. So this was as early as 1991-92, where Swamiji was saying it. But it took us about 10 years from there, 2001, to actually get officially married. And this is why, though we only got married in 2001, which is about 19 years of married life, I think we have known each other for nearly 35 years. So, it's sort of an interesting relationship in that way.
Okay, so the second question. What is your experience of love before and after marriage? And What holds you both together?
I think what holds us together is a sense of purpose, that we have come together for a purpose, and that staying together to fulfill that purpose, that each of us has that purpose in life. And part of that coming together, that purpose, as I was saying earlier, I didn't know you were going to ask these questions today, but I told you earlier how I'm so blessed to have you and your Thambi in my life as my kids. And that blessing is because of Devasena being in my life. So I think this is something that really keeps the glue together, because every family has fights, every family has ups and downs. But to realize that there is a shared purpose. And I think also the fact that Swamiji, your Tata, was so clear about this, I think it's a very important factor that keeps us together. Now, before and after marriage, there are major issues, because see, before marriage, sort of, there's a lot of, it's like the effervescence of a soda. So there is a lot of effervescence. Now that stability has to continue after marriage, and that becomes a struggle, because when you meet somebody for a few hours a day or a few hours a week, it is a very different relationship than when you have to live with somebody 24 hours. So I think anyone who's had this combination of love before marriage and after marriage, this type of comparison, I think the struggle comes that you are meeting the person and being with them more. So that sort of that flowery movie style, fairy book style thing changes quite a bit. But what I think is that love is not just going out to a movie, love is not just going for a party, love is not going and sitting on the beach. It is how you care for each other and how you share every moment of the other person's life. So in that way, I think it becomes deeper at another level. But still, it is very different. I would say it's very different, and I know of so many families, and I would say that this is the commonality that I see in all of them. That what sort of was the storybook romance, once you get into marriage, it can continue if you make the effort. But again, it's the effort that has to be made on both sides. It can continue, but it will be in a different nature. You cannot expect the same, because especially once you have jobs to take care of, family to take care, and then once kids come into your life, I think the dynamism changes a lot. So the quality changes a lot, but basically I think the quantitative aspect, it's always the same. It's like energy is neither created nor destroyed. It could be potential and kinetic. I think the same type of thing is here, that the whole amount of love remains the same, but the way it is expressed and manifests may change a lot. And sometimes love brings out anger, it brings out fight also. So it's not that because you fight, you hate each other. You love each other so much, and that actually sometimes leads to fights. It's very tough to understand that, but it also happens.
Okay. So the third question, how you are able to do everything in a day, like yoga philosophy classes, yoga therapy to patients, singing, playing mridangam, teaching dance, being a good son, husband, father, teacher, boss, and so on. What is the secret?
I wish I could just show you a cup and say, boost is the secret of my energy, like Sachin Tendulkar and Kapil Dev used to say. I think the secret is that if you love life, you realize that every moment is an opportunity for you to be you. And you don't think of it as a job. I think the most important thing is you don't think of anything as a job, but you think of it as an opportunity for you to share, an opportunity for you to grow, an opportunity for you to learn. So if you can learn, grow and share, I think you feel like doing it more. Another thing that is very important is that I learned it from Swamiji and Ammaji, and that is that you have to develop what is called a skillful action, where every action you are doing at the best level of skill you can do it. And this actually enables you to slow down time. So whenever I'm working very intensely, what I find actually is that it's like time stops and you end up doing everything, and then you realize that you did what somebody would take a week in a couple of hours, because time has actually stopped still because of your intense, it's like a dharana and dhyana type of situation that happens. And I've seen it with Swamiji, I've seen it with Ammaji, where it is very difficult to understand how they could achieve so much in one day. So I think having the role model of both of my parents doing it, it has become more natural for me. So I don't think of it as abnormal. The main danger of this is what I would like to say, is that you become intolerant of other people who cannot do the same. So I think the main lesson for me in my life has been to realize that just because I can do something in 1 or 2 hours doesn't mean others can. And this expectation of others that I told you in the morning, it's not yet done in the afternoon, this is something that I have to work on, because you expect others to be able to do that same. So I think the biggest lesson in this is not only you doing it, but being aware that others may not be able to, and developing a sense of tolerance and acceptance of the other person's limitations. But it is a tough journey. It's a tough journey, but I think the best message here, the secret of all of it is love your life. And again, be aware of how fortunate you are to have these opportunities that other people may not have. So you have the opportunity. So because you have the opportunity, you have the responsibility to do that. Because if I'm not doing what the opportunity has come to me, I've been fortunate to have the opportunity. But if I do not do it in a responsible manner, then I am not serving my purpose, I am not fulfilling my dharma, and I think that is the big danger that we have to be careful of.
Okay, so that's the boost or the secret of all this energy in this person sitting here. Okay, it's nothing else. Like all of us will imagine like it will be a single word, or it's okay, maybe like something like, people get the muscles and they have the six packs and everything, and the secret is they're working for like 3 months or 6 months or whatever the duration. But this doesn't have, I don't think it doesn't really
I think
have
the most important message for me is to realize how fortunate we are to have these opportunities which other people may not have. And if you have the opportunity, it is your responsibility to fulfill it. And the moment you realize that and you start to focus, I think a very important aspect is focus. And focus comes when you love what you are doing. So, I could be teaching for hours and hours on end, and often Devasana would tell me when we were traveling, 8 hours, 10 hours I would be teaching, and I don't get tired in teaching that way. Because you are in an elevated state of consciousness where you are just being you. But then the problem is when it comes to the mundane life, and you have to go out and buy the milk, and you have to pay the bill, and you have to go to your work and sign in on time, and file your reports. I think that is a part that sort of really pulls you back. But when you love what you are doing, you'll do wonders. It's amazing. And again, never get attached to what you have already achieved. See, the moment you think, I have achieved so much, and you stop, you're gone. So always remember that what you have achieved is a small bit of your potential. So there's so much left in your potential for you to keep working. And then suddenly you look back and you say, when did I do all of that? So I have a lot of those moments in my life where I look back and I say, how did this happen? And I realize that you do not think about what is the past or what is the future. What is to be done now? Do it. And again, if I get a job, I never think I'll do it tomorrow. Do it now. That was Swamiji's message. Your Tata's message was, do it now. Dim, dim, dim. And if you keep that message, you will suddenly one day realize how much you have done. And it's astonishing at times.
It's also that whether it's our job or it's our profession, passion, or whatever it may be, we must love it, because if we think like, if people force us, or if we are like forced to do it and we are like, okay, I should do it because I need money, and if we have maybe like a cause or a result, then it will be hard. Like.
Very true. See, if you're focusing on the result, you're always going to lose track of what you're doing. So I think you need to focus on the process of what you're doing. Rather than what you're going to get when you do it, you focus on what you're doing now. Be in the now, focus on what you're doing, and the results will come on the end. I think speaking of job, what is very important is two qualities are very, very essential. And one is trust, and second is freedom. And if trust and freedom are not there, then you'll never be able to work to your potential. So I think those two qualities are very essential.
So the fourth question, Did you have any idea or any expectations on me or my brother Anand? If you were to express about us in each person, that is in particular each one of us, how would you comment on us? Let us know.
Well, this is tough. You have me on live camera and you're asking me a question which is a very loaded question. But let me tell you the truth. The truth is that I have no expectation from anyone. And the reason is that each person has to be themselves. So all that I would expect at the most is that you and your brother manifest your potential. You are born with a purpose. You have a dharma. He has a dharma. In each of the dharma is different. Each person's potentialities are different. And I think as a parent, for me, the most important thing is that in your life you manifest your potential, whatever the potential be. Now, it is always easy to say, oh, I want my daughter and son to become doctors and engineers. But I think that is secondary. What is more important is, are you fulfilling your potential? And again, it shouldn't be my dreams being pushed on you that I couldn't become an MD, so I should put an MD on you. I didn't get a PhD, so he should become a PhD. I think this is the danger that parents have. So I think, as far as I'm concerned, you have amazing skills, he has amazing skills. And again, as I've so many times told both of you, each of you is so different in your potentiality and your skills. And the skills you have in communication, the one thing you both have is skills in communication. So I think skill in communication is a very essential skill for success in life. So whatever field you go into, you will be successful because of that skill in communication. The second thing is, you are not bound in only one pattern of thinking. You have been exposed to a wide range of thinking processes. You have been given the dance, you have been given the music, the yoga, he has the taekwondo. And what happens is that this gives you the opportunity to express yourself. And that is the most important thing as far as I am concerned. Rather than saying you have to grow up and get this job and earn this much money, I think what is more important is you should be the best you that you can be. And when you are yourself, you will be happy and I'll be happy. When he is himself, he will be happy, I'll be happy. Now the question comes, what is that you? What is that potential? And I think all we can do again is every day we do what we need to do that day. I think that's the only message I have, because many people like to plan 20 years into the future, 30 years into the future. This is what's going to happen. Maybe that is their style. But my style is not that. My style is, what can we do today? And what can we do today in the best way that we can do? And if both of you can take that forward, I think that would be the best message. And then, as I have taken your Tata's message forward, if both of you in your own way take it forward, I think that will be a great blessing for the future.
Okay. So, I'm sure that both of us will do it, and whether whatever, traumas and all, whatever, we have it. Because both of us are in our teens, okay? Like, it's hard enough when one of us is in the teens, but now both of us in it. So, okay, whatever. But when we grow up older, I'm sure that we'll be better, and we will
See, I will tell you something. See, every family has issues. All children in teens have issues. Every brother, sister, brother, they have problems. Okay, I've seen thousands of families. But the thing is, it's easy when it is somebody else's family. It is easy when it is somebody else's kid. When it is your own family or your own kid, I think that is where what happens is our attachment leads to all the reactions that happen. So it is natural. It is not unnatural. But I think what is important is the earlier we get out of it, and the earlier we realize our potential and manifest it, I think it is the best. So I think that is the main thing, is not to feel bad that we are like that, but how can we get out of it and get to where we need to be? I think that is the most important part. We have to look at the solution, not the problem.
Okay, the fifth question was kind of cute. Okay, like no one has really asked me this till now. What are your 3 most favorite meals?
What is that?
Meals.
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 Food.
Yes.
Oh my God. See, actually,
maybe someone's planning to cook something when you visit them next
okay,
time.
that is
I'm
good.
not sure.
No, actually, I'll tell you something. Frankly, I don't think I have favored meals in that way because I believe that whatever is given, it is our responsibility to take it. So I don't really go looking for things that way. But of course, like
we all have our own favorite.
yeah, see, all the kids at Yogacharya know that Dr. Sir likes gulab jamun. So gulab jamun becomes the favorite sweet, and then I get loads of gulab jamun. But if I don't have a gulab jamun, I don't get worried about it. Okay. Similarly, if I'm in Italy and they have a nice pizza, especially at the Gitananda Ashram in Italy, Umama and others, they make amazing pizza. So, of course, yes, but it doesn't mean I'm going to go and sit here at the pizza corner every day. So, what I'm saying is, I may like it.
Or you're not going to go all the way to Italy
only for pizza. Well, yeah, but if I'm in Italy, pizza and pasta is nice. If I'm here, for me, just plain rice, kanjis, I'm happy with that. Rice and rasam, I'm happy with that. So it's not that it's needed, but gulab jamun is a favorite sweet for sure. And I think the peanut candy is very, very important for me. I remember as a kid going to school, I would take a trunk with me with all my things. And more than half the trunk would be filled with peanut cakes. The clothes and the soap and other things would be less than half. The main part would be peanut cake. So I don't know, somehow for me, that peanut cake has always been.
Were you the only one having it, or you gave it to your friends?
Well, I would have shared some with my friends, but it had to last a few months. It had to last a few months. So I think peanut cakes are important. Coffee and tea, yes. I think I inherited Swamiji's genes in that coffee part. So coffee and tea has been part of me, and anybody who knows me knows of my coffee and tea being part of it. And once in a while, a lemon soda, especially with salt. I think Anand likes it because of that. He's inherited those genes. But other than that, there's nothing really specific. But there are two things I really don't like. And that is brinjal, and the second is big mushrooms. And I remember once in Switzerland, Hariharan had organized a workshop and we went there. And at lunch, the chef had come. It was a very big restaurant, and the chef came and he said, "The maestro has come from India and I have a very special lunch for him." And it was a brinjal item. Huge brinjals, aubergines. For those who don't know what brinjals are, baigan, that is the aubergine. And I said, "I cannot eat it." So he took it away. He felt bad, but took it away. He said, "Okay, I'll get another special item for the maestro from India." And so half an hour later, he brought this plate, and it was one big mushroom. So you can imagine that day I had no lunch because the huge brinjal, aubergine, and then the huge mushroom, and both are the things which just something in me, I don't know whether it's because they are so fleshy or what it is, but those are things that. But recently it's interesting, Shanti has been able to find a way to cook the brinjal. She made something with brinjal the other day and I actually ate it. So I think maybe part of it is how it is made. But brinjal, aubergines, they are part of my, I think, food traumas. Stay away from them.
Okay, so I think I'm closing off this episode only for now. We still have more to come, okay? Yet it seems like it's never stopping. So
I just wanted to say one thing, It is always easy to fantasize that, that person's family life is better than mine. Or look at that perfect family. Everybody looks, they think there's a perfect family, and many of you will be thinking we are a perfect family. There's nothing like a perfect family, I'll tell you that much. Every family has its own issues. But what is very important is every member of that family has come together for a certain purpose. So there is a family dharma also, there's an individual dharma, and I firmly am convinced, not just believe, that there is a family kula dharma that brings us together for a purpose. And I think that is why it is so important. The more we realize, we may fight, we may get angry with each other, and some days can be a real hell, okay? But that is part and parcel of family life. So let us not keep this idea that, family life will be like that. And people get into this type of fantasy, and then they feel, it is only my family that is not good. I'll tell you something, every family is good, bad, and ugly. But every family is the family it is meant to be. Everyone has come together for the purpose. And that is the belief I have. And that is the belief I have about our family also.
Okay, so as usual, I thank at the end the people who have mentioned these lovely questions today. So thanking Reena Miss, Dr. Balaji sir, and Ruth Cook. Well, her name has that COOK, so she asked that question. So it actually I didn't think about it. I'm thinking about it only now. Okay. Actually, it was a different name. So she, I think, is in Wales, and you might not know her, but she answered this question.
Nice to see.
Okay.
So keep the questions coming, and
yes.
she'll keep asking me, and I'll be hauled over the coals. So have fun watching and enjoying more and more. And I just love this type of sharing. It's a beautiful way to reach out and connect with so many others.
Okay. So thank you, and see you soon.